Hey, this is Jesse James, and welcome to another episode of Dealership Life, HD Dealership Life to be specific, because I work at a Harley Davidson dealership, and I give you a behind the scenes showing you what my overall week is like working for the motor company. This week, nothing crazy really on tap. Show you some different things going on. So starting off this week, it's actually a little bit of a recap of some stuff that happened at the end of last week where I wasn't recording. And I ran into something that in sales, it's very frustrating of sometimes things are just outside of your control. And that's what ended up costing me a sale at the end of last week. I don't think it's fully done and dead yet, but it's definitely a couple steps and a few extra struggles that were kind of unnecessary. So the bike that we're talking about is this leftover 2024 Street Glides, black on black. We did go ahead and throw on what's called the Day Tripper package, which is this backrest. Also, for these backrests from the motor company nowadays, they move around super easy. But for the other things for this Day Tripper package, it's heel shifter and then the heat shields. But that was stuff that we put onto this bike. And that was at request of the motor company so we can accessorize a few of them. These bikes have done really well. Personally, I think the Helix redesign that they did in 2024 is what's kept the Street Glide around popularity wise, because I remember for the Rushmore style, which is the 2023s through 2014 through 2023s, they were starting to disappear a little bit on us. But the way that they've reworked that front fairing, it made it very aerodynamic and also made it have a very distinct, different feel than the Road Glide, to where you're sitting more in the bike instead of, on top of the bike instead of in the bike. It's really kept it around. I think Ryan Crucy, he put it best with, you can throw these bikes around a whole lot easier. That's not to say that you can't throw around a Road Glide just as easy. You can, it's the same setup, just I personally feel I sit more in the bike on the Road Glide and everything's a little bit further out. But for referencing Ryan Crucy over in Arizona where they're doing stunt riding, this having that feeling of more on the bike, it's underneath you, it works more for in that feel, as it were. Now, as for the thing where it's been a big struggle for me in sales, and I'm still working on it, I don't think I'll ever get 100% good at it, is there are going to be things that are outside of your control. So with the customer I'm working with on this, it was decided to back out or to take more time to think about it. I think it's just going to take more time to think about it and then go one way or another. He's bought several bikes from us, but I'm a big deals made or lost over a few words, not a few dollars. And it's one of those, it's I didn't say anything, someone else said something, but it had an impact on the mood, just because, we're human. Anytime you say or do something to somebody, it's the whole ripple effects, it affects somebody else in some way. So I did everything that there was for me to do, and something else happened, so we'll see how it pans out. But it's definitely one that for me, as the person that's how I feed my family and whatnot, it's frustrating. And whenever you're in sales, you can't let that take over your thought process, because again, it was outside of my control. I didn't say anything to them, but it's me that's going to suffer for it. But now it's up to me. I can't take that negativity into the next person I talk to. So just got talking to a customer that is actually stepson to a previous customer of mine about this Street Bob 2025, and then a Nightster as well. Just got through Rider Academy this weekend, so is looking for his first bike. And for the money, I really have a hard time thinking that the Street Bob is not one of the best bikes to go with, especially with the introduction of ride modes. This bike is super beginner friendly. And then I love the look of it, especially in that purple abyss denim. It's just fantastic. Also the video where I did a walk around fully explaining everything on this bike, one of my most popular videos, so thank you guys. But between those ride modes and then having the 117 engine, not only is it a light bike for starting out with, but also you can grow into this bike and then go cross country on it, especially with cruise control now. So it's a fantastic platform for starting out on. He's coming in on Saturday to go riding on it now that he has his endorsement. So super excited to see where that goes and where his riding journey takes him from there. We're also going to be checking out the Nightster Special. This one far more traditional, with it just being a sporty instead of a soft tail. But with these Nightsters, if you have not ridden on one, you're sleeping on them. Plenty of power, the same wheelbase as an early model Dyna, and with the ride modes in it, it's very beginner friendly, but you throw it in sport mode and it's very like aggressive rider friendly. And then get it to turn on here. Sometimes it doesn't like to sense that little fob that we have hidden up there. But then with the tech and everything on it, you've got everything from maps to Bluetooth connectivity. Great gauge on it as well. So he's gonna ride both of them on Saturday. Just super excited to see which way he goes. Personally, I hope he goes Street Bop instead of Nightster. But as he has only done Rider Academy for getting into it. If he goes Nightster, I totally understand it, and it's not a bad fit for him at all. So that was one of my favorite activities that we do here at the store, completely unsales related, but it is what we call showroom shuffle. So usually whenever season's coming in, or we have more bikes, or if our floor has just been looking the same way for a little while, we will literally go and change all of it. Just to, one, for the customer experience, gives it another little facelift of, hey, things are changing around here, keeps them coming back in. But for us, it's also just fun. Like, we have a lot of fun moving the bikes around. It gives us something to do unsales related, pushing them around. And yeah, figured I'd show you guys that for today. I had one appointment canceled on me again, Nature of the Beast. This is very much a headspace game, and I struggle with some mental side of things at times. And I'll talk a little bit more about it later in this video if I can, and if I remember to. But yeah, it's very much mental. So my big thing today is not letting that get to me. Yes, this is a number game, but it should be fun. And if I'm not having fun, somebody purchasing a very expensive motorcycle is not going to be having fun. So today, I'm just going to go about it a little bit more relaxed. Weather had been bad, so it's made everything a little bit more dreary. But yeah, we're gonna have a fun flannel Friday, as it were. Just got done talking about not this 83, but we're actually talking about a 48. The difficulty with talking about the 48s, though, is they are now bikes that are no longer made, and kind of far and few between as we get further and further from it being a production bike. The good thing with this 883 I've got here is with the bars and the setup across it, while the wheels and the engine are going to be different on the 48, a lot of the other things are really a good carryover setup, from suspension. This one, having the forwards, made it really easy to be like, hey, this is what your rider triangle is going to feel like. That is something that I run into a decent amount here with having the multiple stores. If somebody sees something at another store, like, while at the end of the day, my goal is to sell what's available today and at my store. That way, you can be out riding on it and enjoy it and not have to wait a week. If need be, if it's like, hey, that's the bike that's want to go with, I like to find a bike that's here on the floor that I can at least be like, hey, this is kind of what it's going to feel like. That way it's not a waste of a trip for that person. They can still get some sort of feel and experience and see if that bike would even do what they want. And like, I've 60% of the time, one of those made up stats, I'd say the person actually leaves with a whole different bike. So a little sporadic, but the last person I've worked with today is somebody looking to go through a rider academy. So another jump start demonstration. I usually do way more of these at this point in the year than I do later, just because it's spring. Everybody's wanting to get into riding. If you are thinking about getting into riding, I highly recommend getting on a jump start or going through a rider academy, some way to safely learn how to ride other than just a buddy that you know, or doing what I did, just purchasing a bike and sending it. But so highly recommend doing something like that. It doesn't even have to be at a Harley dealership. I know for us locally here in Evansville, we have a Bait of Indiana, but there's also most local areas have a way to safely learn how to ride on a motorcycle. It's a good way to get into it. For my role here at the dealership, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with that setup, because on one hand, I get to help somebody learn how to ride, but it also takes me away from my job. Like, I don't get paid for that, but it's giving into that experience and creating a better riding community. And that's just how I view it, because that's how for us here, like, we want that experience, that positive experience for the riding community. Our owner Evan says that's the biggest thing for Harley dealerships, and the biggest thing that makes us different than car dealerships is we are to be a benefit of a service to our community. Yes, selling the bikes is what keeps the bar and shield on the door, but we're here to add a value to this community. So it is now Saturday morning. I get here a little early on Saturday mornings to make the coffee. And I didn't get to do any more recording on the Friday where you saw there get a little jumbled, but that's pretty much going to be doing it for the end of this video. I know that this jumped around a whole heck of a lot. This is one of those weeks where I definitely was off my game, as it were, and the whole point of me doing these dealership life videos is to kind of show you this, like what it's like for me personally in my journey as working at a Harley Davidson dealership as a salesperson. I love playing with the bikes. I love, like, this is a whole lot of fun in this industry. Like, it's not lost to me. I get to goof off every single day, but dealing with the mental struggles that come with that. So thank you for watching, coming to the end of the video. Please, if you want to see more stuff like this or bike reviews, please leave a subscribe, a like if you just enjoyed the video, and I'll see you out there riding.